Hello, the title of this video is A Beginner's Guide to Robots.txt. The purpose of this video is to help you understand the basics of Robots.txt, its limitations, how you can use it, and more. So let's start with what is Robots.txt. This is a file that instructs Google or any other search engines about which pages they can crawl. This is mainly done to avoid overloading your site with requests, and it is not a way that you can no index the pages, and it is located in the root folder of a website. So here are a bunch of things that we need to discuss. This is mainly if you are making a robots.txt, then it will help search engines to know which pages they can crawl and which pages they should not crawl because of the rules, like you add the allow and disallow rules, so they can help them understand which pages they can crawl. The next point means that this is mainly done to avoid overloading your site. That suppose you have a lot of pages and you only want certain pages to be crawled, and you don't want other pages that can cause duplicate issues, and other pages like internal search pages. You don't want any crawler to crawl those pages because it will waste the crawl budget, which is not helpful for you or them. The next point is mainly about that it is not a way to no index your pages. This means that if you want some pages that do not appear in index, then robots.txt might not be the best option for you. You can try other options such as no indexing the pages or applying HTTP headers or something like that. But robots.txt is just a way that you can control the crawling and not the indexing of the page. The last point is that it is located in the root folder of a website. So robots.txt will be like a website name.com/robots.txt, and you can like experiment with yourself. You can go on any website and just add /robots.txt at the end of their domain name, and you will be directed to their robots.txt file. Next, we are talking about why it is important to have a robots.txt file. The first point is that it blocks duplicate and login pages. Suppose you have duplicate pages like filtered navigation, or you have login pages, thank you pages, or any other type of pages that you don't want to be indexed or don't want them to crawl, not index, crawl. And it can hide resources like media files and PDFs. Suppose there are some images and PDFs that are important to you, but you don't want them to be crawled by crawlers, and that's why it is important to have one. And it also blocks internal search pages, like you have implemented search on your website, and every time somebody search on that search option, it will basically gives duplicate pages because all of those pages are similar, and you don't want the crawlers to get stuck in those kind of pages. Same goes with filter navigation in the e-commerce sites. You don't want crawlers to be confused in those and make loops and loops. So it is important that you block those pages in the robots.txt file. Next, we are talking about is what is robots.txt used for. Like we have talked about before, web pages, media files, any kind of images, video, audio, and PDFs, and any other kind of resource file like your maybe JavaScript or CSS file. So the main question is that is robots.txt necessary? And the answer is no, because when a Google bot or any kind of bot visits your website, it first look for that if your website has robots.txt or not. So if your website has one, then it will first look through it and it will parse it to understand what kind of pages you have blocked and what kind of pages are allowed, and then it will crawl the site because it has understand all the rules of the robots.txt. So it says that if a website doesn't have a robots.txt file or robots meta tag or xrobots tag HTTP headers, then the site will be crawled and indexed normally like it should be. So you can expect that any page on your website will be crawled, whether it is your login pages, your thank you pages, or any other kind of pages. Basically, whole website will be crawled by the bots if you don't have any robots.txt file. Next, we are talking about are the limitations of a robots.txt file. It says the instructions in robots.txt file cannot enforce crawler behavior on your site. It is up to the crawler to obey them. This means that there are some respectable crawlers like Googlebot, Bingbot, or any other bot. They can obey your requests, like the rules in the robots.txt file, but it is not important that any other bot or any other kind of spammy or any other bot will follow these requests or these rules. And again, it says that different crawlers interpret syntax differently, so it is not necessary that all crawlers will interpret the syntax in the same way. Again, it goes for like the respectable crawlers, which are the main crawlers like Googlebot, Bingbot, or any other bot, will interpret syntax in a correct manner, but it is not necessary for all other type of crawlers. The last thing is that if a page is disallowed in the robots.txt, it can still get indexed if it has links pointing to it. This is not just for indexing, it is for crawling. That if you have blocked a page in your robots.txt file and it is linked by other pages, or maybe you have internal linked them, or it has backlinks pointing to it, then it will get crawled because it is contradictory that you have disallowed that page in robots.txt, but there are links pointing to it. And as you may know that crawlers follow links to crawl pages, and that's why it can get crawled. Next we are talking about is a basic guideline for creating a robots.txt file, and it mainly involves 4 steps. That you have to create a file that is named robots.txt. It is a text file, and you have to add rules to the robots.txt file, any kind of rules, any pages that you want to block from crawling, and you have to upload the robots.txt file to the root of your site and then test it. This is done simpler in WordPress because most of the plugins and WordPress automatically creates it for you, and the main WP admin page is disallowed in the robots.txt file, so you don't need to worry about all of this. But yeah, you need to, if you want to add more rules to the robots.txt, then you can add it. Speaking of rules, now we are talking about what are the rules that are supported in the file. There are 4 main rules, which are user agent. This is mainly the name of the crawler for which the rules are being specified. So for example, the user agent can be Googlebot, Bingbot, Ahrefs bot, SEMrush bot, or any other bot. And disallow means that any URL path or directory that you don't want to crawl, basically the URLs that you want to block from crawling. The opposite goes for the allow rule, that any URL, directory path, or anything that you want to be crawled. And this is the last one is the sitemap. So this means that you can specify the sitemap of your website in the robots.txt. We have talked about this in the last videos. And then there is a note that crawl delay is not supported by Google. There are many resources and websites you can see that also mentions the crawl delay in the rules, but it is not allowed by Google. It is only allowed by Bing. So you can add it for the user agent Bingbot, but it is not allowed by Google. If you want to limit the crawling, then you can do it by other ways. I will link to the page in the description so that you can check it out. And that brings us to the conclusion. So the first thing is that a robots.txt file is a text file that tells search engines which part of a website they are allowed to crawl. This is simple one. If you want to allow or disallow any kind of pages, then you can specify them in your robots.txt file. And next is that it should be located in the root folder of a website. This is a best practice, that it should be located like website name.com/robots.txt. And it is not necessary to make a robots.txt file if you don't want to. And if you want that the bots can crawl all of your website and you don't have any problem in that. And it is not a mechanism to no index your pages, because if you have included pages in your robots.txt, they can still get indexed, and it will not have any meta description. So the meta description will say no information available for this page. If you are seeing this, then this means that this page is blocked in the robots.txt, but it is still appearing in search, because you cannot control whether or not a page will be indexed or not. And this is the last point, that the pages that are disallowed in robots.txt can appear in the search. So make sure that you are not using robots.txt for no indexing the pages. You can add no index tag or any other ways, maybe password protect the page so that they are not appearing in the search. But the robots.txt is not a way that you can no index the pages. And that's it for this video. I will include the slides in the description, and check out the other videos that I have made on sitemap so that you can understand the relation between the both. Thank you.